Okay, so in my last video, I made a piston powered car. It was meant to be thruster powered, but that didn't really work out. So in today's video, we're going to be making a piston powered car in Scrap Mechanics Survival. Now, it's going to be a lot simpler than the one we made in the last video, as the one in the last video didn't really work. This was mainly due to there being too much cogs or gears, which led to it not really working. So in today's video, we're going to make one in Survival. This is mostly because I think it'd be cool to have a van that shouldn't use any fuel, that went at an okay speed. But the main problem is that piston engines suffer under weight a lot, and if it weighs too much, it will basically not go that fast. Obviously, you want this thing to go really quite fast, as to travel around the world, even though it will use no fuel, you still want it to be relatively fast, obviously, otherwise it's just a waste of time. So anyway, last time on this survival world, I made this railgun, and in today's video, we're basically just going to be dismantling the entire thing. The problem was, it was a really bad, car and just generally a railgun, since it couldn't kill much. So today we're going to be turning it into something useful, a van. So I started making quite a bit of things. We're going to need lots of metal and tier 2 metal for pistons and stuff, and probably, lots of component kits for pistons and also sensors, as it uses quite a bit of sensors. So anyway, I did a few buildings, so I wanted, obviously scrap metal and also some component kits. I do not have much component kits since the last video, as I spent them all on my last video, which kind of sucks. So anyway, I did another building, just get some more, and haybots were pretty deadly, as I almost died them quite a few times. So then I started watering some soil so I could plant some crops on it. This is mostly just because I want the raids, because I won, quite a lot of scrap metal. And I also want potatoes in case we do anything with spud guns, as I've done a lot of things with spud guns on this world. In fact, both the videos I made on this world included spud guns. So anyway. Now, obviously we're probably not going to use them in this video, but having lots of potatoes stockpiled isn't a bad thing. We were pretty low on metal, only 81. Well, actually that's quite high. I was going to spend it on a refine bot and a resource collector, as I really needed to be able to refine stuff automatically, as I was getting really lazy. I know those of, scrap metal just lying for shorts. So anyway, in the last video we were pretty lucky as we farmed quite a bit, so I actually have quite a lot of food. I also got, a refine bot, as we're going to need a lot of metal, and I basically just crafted this metal up. I'm also crafting lots of glue as I want this thing to have chests, and I'd like to put the craft bot on this thing, but I don't know if we'll get there, as it might be slightly too heavy. So anyway, we're pretty close to getting all the materials to this. It's just we're probably going to need some more component kits and some embers. Now embers are pretty obviously useful as you need them for tier 2 metal, and it's good to stock up on some in case you do anything else with them. I'm going to say the Mark 1 tank I made in the first video is starting to suffer some wear and tear, especially in this video. Some of it does get broken, like the glass at the front, which is slightly annoying, and also some of the track, which is just there for looks. So anyway, I did a raid and picked up all the scrap mail, and also squashed a haybot with the resource collector, which was pretty cool. There's quite a lot of, obviously metal to be got from the raid, so it's pretty useful, although I'm basically all out of metal now. I went looking for beeswax as we need it for large wheels, as they're a lot better than smaller wheels, just because they're bigger, and they look cooler. They also give us more ground clearance, which means it's less likely to, get caught on something. So anyway, I made a big, wooden, sheet, which was basically going to be the bottom of our truck. So now I'm going to build a piston engine. This is going to be quite laggy, as it uses up a lot of bearings, and it uses up quite a lot of wood and pistons. But it shouldn't be too big. It should be, and we should be able to fit it on this thing. So now we've got all the things we need. Now, except the sensors, but those are pretty easy to make, but we've got all the pistons. They're coming level 1, which is slightly annoying, as the engine will be more powerful the higher level they are. But anyway, the problem with sensors is that to get the thing to work, we have to use color mode. And the color mode costs a lot. It costs a lot of component kits, about 6 for each um, sensor, which means that this is going to be quite expensive. And now all our component kits are gone, and all our pistons are like level 1 still. To get this thing to work, it's going to be pretty hard, as I've only made one piston interval so far, and it was pretty bad. But I'm sure I should be able to get it to work. The main problem right now is that the pistons don't go the full distance that they're meant to, which means that it won't work. But if you just set up the pistons to the right speed and distance, then it should start working. Now it's vibrating a bit weirdly right now, and that's just because there is not sensing anything in the sensor, I'm pretty sure, or I don't know why. I think one of the big problems is that one of the sensors is not on color mode, which I didn't realize till later. But anyway, now it's working. It's rotating pretty evenly and at an okay speed, but it's not going to rotate this fast when we're actually doing it. I'm going to use the gear ratio to hopefully make it so the output speed is a lot quicker, which should allow the wheels to spin quicker. Although piston engines do strain a lot under stress, which means that this thing might not be the best. So anyway, I started doing some more building so I could get some more metal, but I died quite a few times as the haybots definitely do a lot of damage, especially when there's quite a lot of them, and I stupidly didn't want to do much of them. I also needed component kits. I wanted component kits as they're pretty important to upgrading pistons, and I really needed to upgrade pistons. The piston engine is going to be the strongest, and I kind of blame myself, as if we used around 4 pistons, it probably would have worked a lot better. But well, that's in the past. So anyway, now I've actually got to build a car around, the piston engine. Now, I'm going to add the wheels through this real big bar, and luckily I made an extra piston, which means we can actually, add in, which is pretty useful as pistons don't have collisions, so they can basically go through blocks, which are very useful for powering the wheels. As you can see, it works. It goes at a really bad speed, but it does work. This should go up as we upgrade the pistons more, as I'm pretty sure the more speed is the more power they've got. But anyway, when we add weight, this thing, it definitely is going to be so good. But it's not bad at the moment. I did another raid, it's pretty good to stock up on lots of scrap metal. As you know,